Alyn Smith, Scottish National Party MEP. The whole idea here is to make prices fairer for dairy farmers. You've actually put down an amendment that's been backed to have mandatory written contracts. What's the idea?
Well, the idea is here that I'm a lawyer to trade, so the idea that you've got a supply contract which isn't actually written down just horrifies me. So the UK government was wanting to have voluntary contracts that you could opt in to have a contract if you wanted, but the European Parliament's Agriculture Committee's backed my amendment going forward, which would see all milk supply contracts across the European Union being mandatory, written down, so that there's a transparency, so that everybody knows where we're going forward. So these negotiations are just kicking off, but the Parliament's Agriculture Committee has very clearly supported my call for mandatory written contracts so that producers can get a fair shake of the market.
At the moment, the lack of these contracts for Scottish farmers, what kind of problems does that create?
Well, the difficulty is a massive lack of power within the market of the primary producers. Now, like many things, it's a legacy of the old regulation, the way we used to have the Milk Marketing Board back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then the privatisation of the sector in terms of how that was done. And we've got a very, very unbalanced legal situation. So what we want to see is written contracts for milk supply. That'll bring in a degree of negotiation that doesn't happen at present. Now, it's not a silver bullet, it's not going to solve everything overnight, but it is starting in that direction, and the idea being that everybody should be getting a fair return from the market. Our consumers want to see that, our citizens want to see that, and long term that's the sustainability of the industry.
And would the price be fixed in these contracts so that the farmers know actually what they're going to earn from the milk that they produce?
The price would be fixed according to a formula, which is itself a negotiation between the producer and the intermediary and the supermarket or whoever it might be that they're selling to. So that would be worked out on a formula that would be transparent and clear, and everyone would know what the rules actually were. Presently we've got a situation where that's, believe it or not the case. So written contracts just mean that everybody goes onto a much more transparent footing in these negotiations, so that can only help with the buying power of, limiting rather the buying power of the multiples and strengthening the primary producers.
I mean, you say in your press release that NFUS in Scotland has actually been sort of advocating a milk price formula, and that these contracts would actually give that a legal footing. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. What we need to see is that the contract would say, I'm a producer, I will supply you, intermediary, with 10,000 litres of raw milk, and then if I produce 12,000 litres of raw milk, we can have a discussion about what we do with the other 2,000. Presently, we don't have that sort of legal certainty. It's a crazy legal situation that milk producers find themselves in, and long term it's totally unsustainable. People are walking away from milk production, and that's something that is long term unsustainable for our food security needs. So legal action was necessary, and what we're looking to do here is rebalance the negotiation so that everybody gets a fair shake of the stick.